Good evening.
Good evening.
This is Ian.
And
I'm Jane. And our final show that we've seen today, show 4 on day 7, is actually the last one of this particular trip. We are back in a week's time.
Yeah, the 17th.
And this was, again, over at the assembly rooms. It was the drawing room this time. It was called Kravitz, Cohen, Bernstein and Me. And it is billed as character comedy stand-up. And Deb Filler was the performer. And I'll read you what it says. Kiwi / Canadian / Jewish comedian Deb Filler goes on an hilarious musical quest with the three Lennys, even singing the Beatles in Yiddish. Transfixed in a masterful tour de force of a mostly true story. And the director was Sarah Louise Young.
And that's why you picked it,
and that
wasn't it?
was partly why I picked it, because we saw Sarah Louise Young perform a couple of productions last year.
She did. We saw Silent Treatment, which was brilliant.
Yeah.
You get a chance to see that. And the other show that she did that we saw was Not Being Kate Bush, or something like that.
Yeah.
But Kate Bush show, which were both fantastic.
And she's
shows.
a singer.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So I was just
I
was interested.
I get why you picked this.
Yeah. So I was interested. So I was a bit. Well, I suppose if you read that, you think it's all going to be about the three Lennys. It was more sort of her life story. And she's obviously Jewish, so there was a lot of. And she told us all about Yiddish, and she slipped into Yiddish quite a lot. So that was interesting from that point of view. And she told us a bit of history of her grandmother. We saw behind her there were photographs, so we had photographs of her grandmother, her parents, her as a child growing up, her interest in music, and she was obviously quite a child performer, and she used to go in for sort of competitions and things, and she told us about some of her highs and lows, and she sang odd songs. And then through this we got the stories of her meeting the three Lennys, basically. So she first told us about when she met Lenny Bernstein.
Which I have to say was the most interesting story.
Yes, because
and it took quite a long time to get to that point. And
because it's not that I wasn't enjoying her story, because it was interesting, but
I was less interested, if I'm honest.
But I was sort of thinking, so when do we get to the three Lennys? So I was a bit confused about that, but then it did come.
I thought some of the jokes up until that point were a bit cringy, really, and a bit. I felt maybe, I can't speak for you, but I thought I was maybe the wrong audience for this.
It was she was very homely. So
she was very. She's very personable.
Very she was chatting away as she would, I'm sure, if she met you, and how she got to where she is was really interesting. But I think, I was expecting maybe more of the three Lennys because of the way it was, the title. But I understand how she came up with that title, because there were three particularly interesting stories within her life, and I enjoyed that aspect of it. So we had the Bernstein story, then we had the Leonard Cohen, and that actually had a knock-on effect for many years later when she was making a film, apparently, and they wanted to use one of his songs, and she managed to get in contact with him, and he let her use this particular song for free. So that was quite nice. There was a sort of an extension to that. And then the Lenny Kravitz thing, again, you know, a bit of a story attached to that.
I have to say, I thought some of it was I have to say, there was a lot of it I actually didn't like.
Oh, right, okay.
I liked the Bernstein story in particular, and the Cohen story was interesting, but and there was it just didn't resonate with me, really. I didn't really like. I thought some of the jokes weren't racist, but had they been delivered by anybody else, you would have considered some of those jokes to be racist.
Well, I mean, they were Jewish
jokes,
and she was telling them, and they were told to her by people who were Jewish. That was fine.
They weren't necessarily, and I wasn't laughing. I didn't find them funny. I didn't find any of them funny.
No, I mean, I smiled. And then some people obviously found them very funny.
I suppose what I'm probably trying to say is, if you are Jewish, you will probably love this show because you'll get more out of it.
Yes, I agree.
Than we did, because we're not Jewish.
And I suppose I didn't sort of, I mean, I didn't get that from, the Beatles in Yiddish. I suppose I didn't expect it to be all that kind, because like I'd say, there were lots of references. Though I learned something from it, very much so. But I think I was just maybe expecting more focus on those three, somehow. Yeah,
I know. Having read what we've got, what's on the Fringe website, and in because we looked at that originally, didn't we, before we looked at this. So I was expecting more. So, I genuinely don't think that we necessarily are the right audience.
But I did not enjoy it.
Right.
And
I didn't.
And obviously there were a lot of Jewish references that we didn't get.
No.
And I think I agree with Ian that if you were Jewish, then you're going to get an awful lot more out of it. But like I said, I'm going to repeat myself. I didn't not enjoy it.
Right. Well, I'm going to give it a 3.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 3.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So, anything else?
Nope.
We will see you on the 17th, when we're back on the 17th.
Yeah.
Although it probably be the 18th, because I don't think we were actually seeing any shows on the 17th. I think we're just driving up.
Okay.
And then we're back into the madness that is Edinburgh Festival Fringe. But let us know down below if you see any of our shows and what you think about them, because other opinions are available. We're not necessarily right in our opinions. It's just an opinion. Okay. So thanks so much for watching. Okay. Subscribe and do all that sort of bell ticking. Hit the bell if you want to be notified, and tick like and all that sort of YouTube. The algorithm likes it.
And just before we go, we bumped into a young man who started talking to us.
We did. We had a break this afternoon. We had quite a long lunch. You're going to find around where shortly.
Yeah,
so we were in a place called Fringe Central, which is for people working the Fringe, and we bumped into a young man who is doing his first ever Edinburgh Fringe Festival. He was here at university. I think he's American. Is he American, Jane?
Yes.
And he's come back to do his first show, and we actually can't see it because it finishes before we actually come back. Otherwise, we would have found it.
Nope, but I will find it.
All right. Okay. I might speed this bit up then while we're waiting. So.
Yeah. There we go. Found it.
All right. That was
right,
good.
and we realised that after he gave us a flyer that we won't be here.
Nice guy called Ben.
So he is only here now until the 13th. It's called Shower Chair. His name is Ben Falacci. Falacci, I think it is.
Yeah.
It's in the spare room, and it is late. It's 20 to midnight for an hour.
And it's actually part of the free Fringe, I think, isn't it? Because it's pay what you like. So if anybody goes to see Ben, just let us know what the show was like, because we would have, to be fair, we would have gone, because he seemed such a nice guy.
Yeah. It's just the tonic, the caves, but it's the spare room, and it all it says is a one-man performance about the game of hide and seek we play with identity, and that's the flyer. Okay, but we just felt that we would give him a shout.
We had a nice chat to him. And,
we did. And it was his first. I mean, even though he knows Edinburgh, this is his first Fringe.
Yeah.
So it's all quite sort of quite exciting for him.
Yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah. So let us know if you see Ben's show. Let us know in the comments down below what you thought of it. 'Cause it'd be great. It'd be nice to know. Really.
Okay.
Okay. See you next time. Cheers.
Bye. Bye.